Hello and welcome, I'm Chris and this is the Hair Tutorial channel. And on this channel I give you hints and tips to help you with your hairdressing career. Whether it's cutting, colouring, hair up or just simple advice about products, this is the channel for you. Now this is a video that I have wanted to make for a long time, but actually been scared to do it. Because if I would have made this video over a year ago, I would have thousands of comments saying that I was a bad hairdresser, that I didn't know what I was talking about, and I simply just didn't want the hate directed at me. So what is this about? This is all about Olaplex and the new kid on the block, the K18. So what's my problem with Olaplex? Well, there are a number of things. I was a technician working for a colour company, going into hundreds of salons and seeing the effects of this. And purely as well, the science behind Olaplex never made any sense to me. I've never used it, I've never advocated using it. I don't believe it's the right product. Now why? Why am I so against this product? Well, it comes back really to just simple basic hairdressing. We're taught about the hair structure, we're taught about the interwinding fibres that are connected by bonds in the hair. These bonds are where Olaplex says it works, specifically on the disulfide bonds. Now, bear with me for a second. There are three types of bond in the hair: hydrogen, sulfate, and disulfide bonds. So the Olaplex is only working on the disulfide bonds, so it's only working on 1/3 of the bonds. And the bonds themselves only make up a fraction of the actual hair structure. The majority of the hair structure is made up by amino acid chains which form keratin. So your hair is fundamentally keratin, just like your hair and your nails. So therefore Olaplex is working on a fraction, a minute percentage of the hair's overall structure. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't give results. I'm sure it does, because it is working on the disulfide bonds. But again, let's take a simplified look at this. First of all, hydrogen bonds. These are broken down every time you wet your hair. When you dry your hair, they restructure themselves, and that's why you're able to blow dry your hair straight or curly. As they restructure, whether you're blow drying it straight or curly, they reform, giving new shape to the hair. The sulfide bonds. pH is what affects these, and as long as the pH in your hair is okay, so are the bonds. And finally, the disulfide bonds. Now, I was taught a long time ago, and we did perming. Now, perming softens the disulfide bonds, and then you wrap them around a roller and use neutralizer, which rehardens them into the new shape, the curly shape. So the disulfide bonds are very difficult to break, and to break them you would have to be using excessive chemical treatments. And if you were using excessive chemical treatments, you would be damaging the keratin and the whole structure of your hair, not just this disulfide bond. And once Olaplex became widespread, I encountered numerous issues of grey coverage issues, lack of vibrancy and colour not absorbing. And there was no way that stylists were having it that it was the Olaplex that was affecting this. Do I have a problem with using Olaplex as a standalone treatment? No, not if you want to. Not if you want to repair the disulfide bonds. Totally. That is your choice, and use it. So what about the new kid on the block? Because this is what has enabled me to make this video and not get as much hate. K18 has stepped onto the market and is a very different concept. In fact, some people are even saying you can use the Olaplex and the K18 combined because they work in different areas of the hair. The K18 is working on the keratin. Now this makes far more sense to me as it makes up the bulk and the biggest structure of the hair. They're also not proposing that you alter your developer or mixing ratio in any way. In fact, it's primarily used as a standalone treatment. Now from what I've seen, it's a good product and it seems to work. It has a very hefty price tag. And is it worth that hefty price tag? Well, it's always going to be up to your salon and your client whether you want to use this. It certainly seems to have benefits, But going through the product label, there's very little there that I can see other than one chemical compound that is actually going to work on the keratin. Now I can't pronounce this compound, so I'm going to put it here. So what is this? Basically, this is a man-made peptide that restructures the keratin within the hair. So it is doing exactly what they claim. Now, like a lot of beauty products and creams, they're claiming it reverses the signs of damage. And we've all seen those glossy adverts on TV where it says reduces or reverses the signs of aging. However, of course, once you stop using that product, those signs are going to reappear, whether it's lines, wrinkles or blemishes on the skin. So I'm going to take a leap and say that you're going to have to continue to use the K18 to continue to see the effects. So is it worth it? Is it worth the hefty price tag to continue to use it? Are there other products on the market that contain this? Yes, there are other products on the market that contain this chemical compound and that are far cheaper. But it does seem to work and strengthen and rebuild the hair. Could be a useful asset for certain clients in certain situations. Now when a client comes back to me, the majority of the time I'm working on the virgin regrowth, which really shouldn't be damaged, and if it's growing out their head damaged, then they obviously have a more serious problem. We're talking about the ends of the hair that are affected by heat, constant colouring, holidays and the environment. So the jury is out for me, and I'd like your comments. If you are an Olaplex user and you're currently using K18, have you noticed a substantial difference? Have you started using the K18 but gone back to the Olaplex? And is it really this wonder product that simply won't be replaced in another year by the next thing? And will this be the death of Olaplex? Well, once again, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm interested to hear your comments and your remarks on this, so leave them below and I'll see you next time.